Hi, welcome back. For this week, we'll start a new chapter. It is about opportunity identification. In fact, opportunity identification starts before the formal product development process. So, in last chapter, somewhere we read about the concept development, and before that, there was like phase zero uh, task that one needs to do, and we touched upon those things in a simplistic way, but here we will focus more onto it. So before starting off the formal product development process, we need to understand what are the opportunity from the point of view of the market, from the point of view of the technology. That means the solution that specific market problem or the customer need can have. So, and all this belongs to opportunity identification, and this is, I think, is very much relevant and important for our community. And we can always use this knowledge to do some preliminary study on what are the how we can arrange our research projects in a longer term. So from that point of view, this chapter is very important. So let's get started. So the material for this chapter are developed by some other person, not the author, or at least with the help of the other person. And the context is there is a company called Forley Cat, and that basically produces various pet products. That means and they had launched some product called Bolt, which uses laser, and I think it points the laser at various positions of the home inside the indoor, and then cat can play. I mean, that famous video where the cat follows the laser pointer, something like that. So Forlico Cat is basically a USA company, Chicago-based company, and and they have actually, but their manufacturing happen in China, and I think that's the thing in most of the companies in USA. So they outsource their manufacturing because labor laws are quite. The minimum wage and all this thing are quite high there. So whereas you can build the same product with quite lesser amount of money if you outsource it. That's the history of things here. So that's not important for us. But then good to know that. And so what they do is, I think they, depending on their product called Bolt, they want to generate a new product depending on their initial success, and they don't want to take too much of risk because they are actually a small company. So what they do is they outsource their product development process to a Singapore firm called Accenture Design, something like that. And all this, whatever that particular firm generated, and then subsequent development in the Forlico, depending on that, this material for the chapter had been generated. So that will be interesting because at each point we'll see how, all the theoretical discussion that you will see here will have a relevance. That means it had been already applied to a successful product generation, something like that. Okay, so yeah. So naturally, the first question that one should ask is, what is opportunity means here? So of course we have a certain notion of it, that it is like brainstorming certain ideas and all this thing, but there is a structure one can apply into it. So to give you a precursor understanding of what is opportunity in product development process means, in the context of product development, an opportunity is an idea for a new product, An opportunity is a product description in embryonic form, a newly sensed need, a newly discovered technology, or a rough match between a need and a possible solution. So yeah, at the earliest stage of development, uncertainty clouds the future, so an opportunity can be thought of as a hypothesis about how value might be created. An opportunity for a new product is usually articulated with less than one page of information, often including a descriptive title, a narrative explaining the idea, and sometimes including a sketch of a possible product concept. Here you can see what Forlico Cat, the next product that they had launched, not based on the laser but something based on the magnet, and in the diagram you can see how it works. And yeah, so that's the simple product. And yeah, so this is an example of an opportunity that includes a possible solution concept, which is typically for efforts focused on identifying opportunity for new product in a well-defined category like cat toys. Yeah, although these looks all, I mean, maybe from our scientist and engineering point of view, it looks very funny, but then we remember that there are huge amount of brainstorming and the lot of discussion is needed, because they want to invest into it and they have, let's say, X amount of money, and if so they have to get successful in that, otherwise they will lose money because they have already invested like in outsourcing and all these things. So in if they want to do in USA, I think it would be more costly, that's why they outsourced it. But still outsourcing and all this thing will take a lot of capital and all these things. So yeah, sometimes there are a lot of business categories where you have a lot of competition and all this thing, and a lot of business goes bankrupt because of investing into some direction of R&D which doesn't produce, let's say, good product. So yeah. Now to give you some idea about what are the types of opportunities. So in a simple qualitative sense, there are two dimensions of categories of one can think about the various categories of opportunity in terms of two dimensions. One is basically knowledge of solution and the knowledge of need, or specifically it means extent to which the team is familiar with the solution likely to be employed, or extent to which the team is familiar with the need that the solution addresses. So that means one is about the knowledge about the technology, another is about the knowledge about the market. So, and depending on what knowledge is a priori more dominant, one can have a sense about what are the trajectories to take and all these things. So here, for example, let me give you a more context here. So for technology based products, these dimension can also be thought of as known of the technology and knowledge of the market, knowledge of the technology and knowledge of the market. So here you can see in the XY plot, in x-axis we have knowledge of the solution, or it can be thought of a method or some process or some technology, or in y-axis we have knowledge of the need. That means knowledge about the customer, users, or maybe market. So now in the market segment, there are in the lowest segment, it can be like existing need market that we currently serve. That means it is already known. That means not too much of thing is here. Not too much knowledge here. We already know this thing, so that's not the new thing, And in the medium segment, we have like existing need or market that we do not address. So that's a new thing. So we place it in the upper portion in the y-axis. And finally, that at the top of the y-axis we have something called new need of the market. And in the x-axis, for the knowledge of solution or the method or technology, in the lowest point is the existing solution that we currently use, existing solution that we do not use, and new solution. Now let's understand what will happen when we have let's say existing need or market that we currently serve. In that case, if we have in the knowledge segment, if we know what is already we're using, if we want to use that means basically we already have some product. So then improvement will be improvement on the some component or maybe some extension if it is a software product, and variant and cost reduction. That's also important. Cost reduction will make your product more competitive compared to the lot of similar kind of product in the market. So that this segment is basically called Horizon 1 opportunity, which is easy to grab but may not it's easy to grab and also secures your profitability and all this thing. And sometimes a lot of big businesses have this very easy spot they sit on, and they really want to secure that, and they are all the endeavors focused on that. So, and that they have their good logic to focused on that. And we actually talked about this thing long ago, where we talked about why various spin-off can be why various innovative ideas are generated from the spin-offs rather than from the big corporation. Because big corporation, they already have a certain lot of thing going on, infrastructure and all this thing, and they have the pressure of competing in their existing market and making existing product more suitable, more cost effective, and etc. So that's why. Anyway, so it's a little bit different thing. Now we'll look into the existing market we currently serve, but where we know existing solution that we do not use. That means we are applying some new sort of a knowledge here. So that will be like next generation product or services of core market. That means extension of already or similar sort of product but more improved, and not improved but next generation, let's say a little bit more totally different, not totally, but let's say next generation, that's the right word here. And when you have a new technology or new solution, new method, new process, and we are serving the existing market, then it will be like exploration with new solution approaches. So that itself belongs to Horizon 3 opportunity, which is most what should I say, risky actually, because you can lose capital here because you are looking into new solutions. So you are investing lot of money into research. That means we already discussed in first chapter that how the product development itself can be costly in the the money needed for the product development is the same as the intended money that will be given to the production of the new product actually. So, and that is because it takes time, and you also have to hire a lot of different expertise people, and depending on the complexity of the product, it can take long time, it can take large amount of human resources. So this can be problematic. That means you can lose money, but you can also open up new market and gain profit. And of course Horizon 2 here means where you are creating next generation product. That's not too risky, but still risky, not like the Horizon 1. Now let's see when you have the existing need of the market that we do not address, that means next need of the customer. And when you use the existing solution, it's like adjacent growth. So I don't know too much about that, so I'll skip that. Now let's say you are addressing to the totally new market, and then you are having like using the next existing solution. So it's like exploration into the new market. You are actually using the same product or same sort of method and creating a new product and launching into a totally different market. And that there can be a lot of example of that, and that is certainly horizon 3. That means because you don't know too much about the market, their knowledge of the market is less. So I should say that if you go to the higher portion of the y-axis or higher distant from the x-axis, that means higher portion of the x-axis, then you basically you have to understand that you are in the y-axis, you are entering into new market, and x-axis you are entering into new type of solution, new sort of thing. It's not like you don't know those things a priori, you are actually in the serendipity. And finally, interestingly, when you have the new solution, that means you don't know about the new solution, you tentatively know little bit here and there, and it's a totally new market, which is the case for, let's say, in a startup or something like that. Then it's like belongs to the very problematic situation, a risky job, which is like new category product and services. So this gives more of a simplistic view of what are the different opportunity, how they are why they are risky. Some opportunities are more risky, and depending on the knowledge that you have about the technology and knowledge you have about the market. So those two are parameters, and depending on that, you can have a qualitative sense that what are your zone, whether you are dealing with a very risky situation, whether it's a medium risky, whether it is a not so risky. In generally for startups, it's very risky all the time. They are always in the horizon 3 opportunity zone. So now we'll see what is called the opportunity identification tournament. So it's just a fancy term to explain the process of opportunity identification, where you start with a lot of new ideas and random ideas, and then you filter it, and at this end of the process you get some promising ideas. So, and we'll look into the process of doing that, how you take and create a long list of opportunity ideas, so and then how you filter it. So we'll look into the process later, but that's the way we do it. And so the opportunity vary widely in value. However, that value is plugged by uncertainty. It is therefore very useful to identify a set of opportunities and then to select a subset for further development, with just a few coming to fruition. This process can be thought of as an innovation tournament, with only the best ideas prevailing. In the most settings, dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of opportunities are considered. For every one commercial success. A filtering process selects a subset for further development, and from those picks one or more champions that will be launched as full product development effort. So here you can see how the diagram looks, and more interestingly, you can see that the opportunity identification process embodied in an innovation tournament precedes the product development process, as in the figure you can see. And in the right side, this is the typical stages that we see in the product development process. The last chapter, that means chapter 2, that we discussed in the previous videos. So the identification is, as I said, is a precursor to that. While both opportunity identification process and the product development process consist of development steps and selection steps, the overarching goals of the two activities are quite different. In opportunity identification, the goal is to generate a large number of opportunities and effectively kill those that are not worthy of further investment. In the product development process, the goal is to take the opportunity articulated in the mission statement and do everything possible to assure it becomes the best product it can be. So the identification process, the opportunity identification process is like a brainstorming. It's not like too much resourceful, rather it's like a bunch of guys will do more of a creative or repetitive job, I will say. So we'll look into there are structures one can follow there also, but it's more like a personal thing, or it's like a personal thing and individual involvement in the discussion room sort of thing. So yeah, I might ask how we effectively generate a lot of opportunities, and or what to do in the opportunity tournament. Tournament is a sort of a fancy word, I will say, but it's not like a lot of people team is joining and then competing or something like that. It's more like in corporation, big corporation, or in an startup environment. It's basically a bunch of guys who will be coming together and having discussion for, let's say, repetitive number of times. So but there is an so there is a way, three basic way one can follow to generate good number of and good quality opportunity ideas. So first is generate a large number of opportunities. Opportunity, very basic thing, because even if it is a garbage idea or something like that, you just create it so that you make a good chance that you stumble upon something to be important or something which can be successful in future. So if you produce more opportunity, you will see more exceptional ones. The logic is here simple. One average, if you find 1 7-foot tall person per 1 lakh people, you will find 2 among 2 lakh people. So that's very basic logic. And then second point is seek high quality opportunity generated. Adopting better method for generating opportunity and mining better sources of opportunity can increase the average quality of opportunity under consideration, which will also increase the quality of the best ideas resulting from the tournament. So yeah, and finally the third point one should follow is create high variance in quality opportunity. This is important, I feel. This is a direct, though not immediately obvious, implication of statistics. Holding the average quality of the number of opportunity constant, you will generate more exceptional one from a process that exhibit greater variability. That is, if so I will explain it, maybe it is confusing. That is, if it is less consistent in the quality of its output, the quest for variability contradicts normal approaches to process improvement. Thus, but it is exactly what you want to in opportunity creation. That means generating wacky ideas and wild notions increases the chance that at least one of the opportunity will be exceptionally good. So here we are not really interested into something fine-tuned or something like that. It's more like anyone can have a very obnoxious ideas also. So all will be considered. Yeah. Now we come to the main portion for this particular video, where we'll understand what are the structured process one can follow for opportunity identification. Because from an outlook it looks like just a bunch of discussion among the relevant persons in the corporation, but there are certainly some structure, and there will be creative people who will have very interesting ideas and those are always welcome, but not all the people are, I will say, creative in that particular sense. So basically one can follow, or the team can follow certain guidelines for this opportunity identification. So first step is establish a charter, and then second step is generate and sense many opportunity. Third step is screen opportunity. Fourth step is develop promising opportunity. Fifth step is select exceptional opportunity, and last step, sixth step, is reflect on the results and the process. So now we will one by one go into all these steps and discuss in more detail. Okay, so that's it for this week, and we'll start with the opportunity identification process, the sixth step, from next week. And this is the book from where I'm generating the content, and specifically this is the web link, and also provided in description. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next week.